Today we're going to talk about making the right choices, Unit 11. But as you know, I want you to ask yourselves a question or some questions about the choices. Can you think of something that you do too often and can't stop doing? This is the first question. The second question about these pictures here. Why do you think that people become addicted to these things, as you can see in these pictures? And how easy would it be for you to never do or try any of these things? Now I want you to check this text here. They just can't stop. We'll talk about some people who become addicted to using social networking sites. At first, they use them just to send messages to their friends and to find out what their friends are doing. However, some people need to check their social networking sites all the time. If they do not check them, they begin to worry or to feel unhappy. The best way to help these people is to suggest that they only use social networking sites for about half an hour. Suggest that they phone their friends instead of sending them messages. Encourage them to play a sport or make something instead of looking at their mobile phones. Now I want you to read Ahmed's blog. It's about his friend Samah. What happened to Samah? Then I want you to ask yourself about what couldn't Samah stop doing. Okay, the blog said that Samah was a student in my class. He was a successful student. He always worked hard and he was very good at English and math. However, he slowly changed and he stopped studying. I don't know for sure what changed Samah. He smoked all the time. He might have become addicted to smoking. He should have talked to his parents, his friends, or his teacher. They might have helped him with his problem. However, he coughed all the time and he became very ill. The doctors told Samah that he had lung disease from too much smoking. He spent a lot of time in hospital and he didn't spend enough time studying. So he didn't pass any of his exams that year. It must have been very difficult for Samah. He didn't like being ill. He must have regretted starting to smoke. However, life is better for Samah now. I saw him last week. He had an operation and he is healthy now. He has stopped smoking and he has started to study again. I'm sure he will pass his exams this year. Okay, then the question here, what couldn't Samah stop doing? Samah couldn't stop smoking. In this exercise here, which of the words in red mean the following? I mean the words in red in the blog here, like addicted, lung disease, pass, operation. One more time. Addicted, lung disease, pass, and operation. I ask you here, which of the words in red mean the following? The first one, be successful in an exam. To be successful in an exam means pass. Number two, an illness. An illness means disease. Number three, unable to stop doing something. Unable to stop doing something. Yes, addicted. Number four, an organ which helps you breathe. Lung. Yes, an organ which helps you breathe. Lung. And number five, when a doctor cuts into your body to help you get better. When a doctor cuts into your body to help you get better means operation. Now let's check the grammar books. It's about might or must have for expressing possibility in the past, and should have for expressing recommendations or regret in the past. Let's check the first 2 points about might or must. We use might plus have plus past participle to talk about possibility in the past. For example, I might have seen this film already, I can't remember. Or Ali's arm hurts, he might have broken it. So we use might have past participle to talk about possibility in the past. What about must? We use must plus have plus past participle to talk about things that we are sure happened in the past. We are sure happened in the past. For example, I must have left my notebook at home. Means that I'm sure that I left it at home. Number 2, there is no train to Omar's village. He must have taken the bus. It means that I'm sure that he didn't take the train. This is must have past participle. What about should? Should have for expressing, we said that before, that should have for expressing recommendations or regret in the past. We use should or shouldn't plus have plus past participle to express a recommendation or a regret about a past situation. For example, I should have booked a seat on the train, and now there are no seats left. It means that I didn't book one. Number 2, you shouldn't have gone to bed late last night. Now you are very tired. So one more time, we use might or must have for expressing possibility in the past. We use might to talk about possibility in the past, and we use must to talk about things that we are sure happened in the past. And we use should to express recommendations or regret in the past. Now match to make 1 or 2 sentences. The first one, it's already given. Noel must have been very tired. She fell asleep on the bus home. Number 2, Hamdi can't find his bag. Yes, it will be letter D. He might have left it at the bus stop. Number 3, I thought my answer was correct, but I might have been wrong. Letter B. And the last one, you should have asked me before you used my computer. The next exercise makes sentences about these situations using might, must have, or should or shouldn't have. Okay, the first situation, your friend did very badly in the exams. What would you say? Yes, we can say she should have worked harder. She should have worked harder, or she might not have done enough revision. She might not have done enough revision. Number 2, your little brother ate a lot of sweets and now feels ill. What would you say? He shouldn't have eaten a lot of sweets. Or you can say it, you shouldn't have eaten a lot of sweets. Number 3, you usually go to the park with your friend on Saturday, but last week your friend didn't come. Yes, she might have been ill, or she must have visited her grandparents. Now let's check the functions books. It's about expressing past recommendations, explaining a choice in the past, and expressing regret in the past. The first point, expressing past recommendations. For example, I think you should have tried, in brackets, the pizza, for example. I think you should have tried the pizza last night. Or, you shouldn't have drunk so much coffee yesterday. To explain a choice in the past, you can say, I really didn't want to eat pizza, for example, it's not healthy. Or I wasn't interested, thanks. And to express regret in the past, you can say, I really shouldn't have smoked that cigarette because, and give the reason, because it is unhealthy, it is bad for me, and so on. So the functions books about expressing past recommendations, explaining a choice in the past, and expressing regret in the past. Now, match to make sentences. The first one, it is easy to become, it's already given, it is easy to become addicted to games on your phone. Number 2, Mona was very rude. Yes, letter C, when she said those unkind things to her sister. Number 3, it can be boring. Letter A, yes, when you spend a lot of time on your own. And last one, it can be difficult, of course it will be letter B. It can be difficult to pass all your exams. The next exercise, I want you to choose the correct words. The first one, I'm sorry, I didn't meet you in the park. I might have phoned you, or I should have phoned you to tell you that I was ill. Which one, might or should? Of course, should. I should have phoned you to tell you that I was ill. Number 2. Did I really say that? I'm not sure. I must have forgotten, or I should have forgotten. Yes, the answer, I must have forgotten. Number 3. Taha should have been in Cairo last week, or must have been in Cairo last week. Which one, should or must? Look, he's in the photo. Yes, must have been in Cairo last week. Look, he's in the photo. Number 4. Walid can't find his book. He might have lost it, or he should have lost it on his way home. He can't find his book, so he might have lost it on his way home. And number 5, you missed the start of the show. You should have arrived earlier, or you must have arrived earlier. Yes, you should have arrived earlier. Now let's check your workbook. The first exercise in your workbook is to read and correct the underlined words. For example, the first one, too much smoking can cause lung and heart disease. It will be disease, lung and heart disease. Number 2, don't drink too much coffee, or you will become invited to it. Yes, it will be addicted, or you will become addicted to it. Number 3, I had an accident to fix my leg, and now I can walk again. It will be, I had an operation to fix my leg, and now I can walk again. Number 4, Maisa works very hard, so I'm sure she will provide the exams. Yes, it will be pass. Maisa works very hard, so I'm sure she will pass the exams. And the last one, Osama is coughing all the time. I think he has a problem with his legs. The answer is lungs, yes. I think he has a problem with his lungs. The next exercise, complete the sentences with might, must, or should have, and the correct form of the verb in brackets. And pause the video if you need more time to think about the answer. The first one, the tourists, you have a space and in brackets bring their costs to Egypt. They won't need them in the summer. So the answer is already given here, shouldn't have brought. The tourists shouldn't have brought their coats to Egypt. They won't need them in the summer. Number 2. Archaeologists think that the coin in brackets belong to an ancient pharaoh, but they are not sure. So we'll use here might, and the answer will be might have belonged. Archaeologists think that the coin might have belonged to an ancient pharaoh. Number 3. It, in brackets P, winter, when they took these photos, there is snow on the ground. So we'll use here must, and the answer will be it must have been winter when they took these photos. There is snow on the ground. Number 4. We, in brackets, catch the earlier train. It's much quicker than this train. Yes, the answer, we should have caught that earlier train. It's much quicker than this train. And number 5, I think my grandfather, in brackets, visited England in the 1960s, but I'm not sure. So the answer, I think my grandfather might have visited England in the 1960s, but I'm not sure. Number 2, complete the sentences. Number 1, these are very good footballers, so the reason they are losing all their games is psychological. They don't think they are the best. Number 2, it's very bad to smoke in a hospital. Yes, of course, the answer, a cigarette. It's very bad to smoke a cigarette in a hospital. Number 3, volleyball is a very space game. You need to be fit to play it. Something you do with your body, so the answer here, physical. Volleyball is a very physical game. Number 4, the little boy was very space after his brother broke his toy. Of course, he was angry. So the little boy was very angry after his brother broke his toy. Number 5, you should never be to people. Always talk nicely. So the opposite adjective here is rude. You should never be rude to people. Always talk nicely. Here I want you to complete these sentences using an expression giving a past recommendation, explaining a choice in the past, or expressing regret in the past. It's about the functions books. For example, the first one you have here, I think, should try that strong coffee lunch. And the answer is, I think you should have tried that strong coffee for lunch. Number 2, I really not want to, not healthy. You can talk here about the strong coffee too. So the answer would be, I really don't want to try that strong coffee. For example, you can change it. It's not healthy. I really didn't want to try that strong coffee. It's not healthy. Number 3, you shouldn't eat so many cakes yesterday. The answer, you shouldn't have eaten so many cakes yesterday. Number 4, I really shouldn't have so much sugar in tea. So much sugar in tea because bad for teeth. The answer, I really shouldn't have had so much sugar in my tea because it's bad for my teeth. Number 5, I think should not try that cigarette last night. The answer, I think you shouldn't have tried that cigarette last night. I think you shouldn't have tried that cigarette last night. And number 6, the last one, I not interested, thanks. I was not interested, thanks. I wasn't interested, thanks. The next exercise, complete the sentences with the correct form of these words. You have here 4 words like care, help, success, use. The first one is already given. I try to be very helpful when I visit my grandparents. I clean their kitchen and sweep the floor. Number 2, the basketball team are very space. They have won all their games this year. So, the basketball team are very successful. They have won all their games this year. Number 3, this mobile phone is very space. It can send emails and take photos. So the answer, this mobile phone is very useful. It can send emails and take photos. And the last one, please be space when you carry those eggs. Please be careful when you carry those eggs. Thank you very much, with my best wishes.